So what you're seeing on screen right now is ChatGPT. It transcribed, it organized all my footage, and then it cut everything clip to clip so that there is no dead space in between, and it cut it very well. As like shockingly, it rarely cut on the parts where I'm still speaking. Now, I'm going to show you in this video the parts that ChatGPT did really well, the parts where it kind of messed up, and how to set everything up, starting with setting all of this up from nothing. If you're a creator or an editor tired of sitting there cutting your own footage, this is just for you. Cutting has always been one of those brainless activities for me. You just cut, cut, cut again and again. And after doing it for the last 4 years professionally, I have it down to a science. I know what to cut, what to keep, and when to make the cut. There are a series of steps involved in it, and for me, it's not something that requires a lot of creativity. It's just step 1, step 2, step 3, every time. So I taught ChatGPT these steps. It runs on its own for about an hour. You go to lunch, come back to a finished cut, look it over, and get on with the part you actually like. Okay, so in my last video, the Claude plus DaVinci Resolve video, it blew up and there was a lot of comments in the video that was asking, what about ChatGPT? I would like to do this with ChatGPT. And so I'm gonna give you guys what you have asked for. I thought that I really did not think that ChatGPT would perform as well or even better than Claude, but surprise, surprise, in one of my previous videos, I tested it out and ChatGPT is actually a very solid contender against Claude. And there were instances in which it was even better than Claude. So I'm gonna show you guys how to set it up in this video. And do note that the smallest thing or the smallest plan that you can do this with is the $20 Codex plan. So let's go to their plan real quick. So there are a few different tier plans. You need to have at least the Plus plan. The Plus is the only way for you to connect ChatGPT or to use Codex in order to connect ChatGPT over to DaVinci Resolve. And you will need the DaVinci Resolve Studio. If you don't have those two, this will not be able to work. You want to go to OpenAI. I'll also have a PDF down in the description and pinned comment that you can follow or just literally throw into your ChatGPT or even Claude. Codex is OpenAI's coding agent. It lives inside the ChatGPT app and it can operate on other apps on your computer, which is how it connects to DaVinci Resolve. So we are gonna go over to Codex right here and download. You're gonna hit download for Mac OS. You're gonna install that. It'll walk you through it. You'll have this, drag this. If you're on Mac, drag it in, or if you're on Windows, just double click and install it. It's still called Codex, but the whole app itself is called ChatGPT. And so you want to go up to here where it says ChatGPT, this little arrow, and click on Codex. Once you're in Codex, we are going to install Superpowers. So in order to install Superpowers, you're going to click on your name at the bottom left here, go into settings, and you'll look for plugins. Right here under integrations, you'll click on plugins. Once you click on the plugins page, you'll click up here which says browse directory. Click on that and search up Superpowers. Right here, I already have installed, so I don't have to install it, but you can click on it and right here should be a little install or like to check it on. You'll click that. Down here, you can see some of the skills that it has. Make sure that brainstorming is on. Brainstorming is the thing that we need the most from here. So once you have installed Superpowers, you'll be on this page now, and it should be relatively blank. You'll click on choose project, new project, and let's go ahead and create a folder inside of your directory. Go into this little house icon that you have and create AI Assistant Editor. Basically do all the things that you can, but only inside of this folder. So as long as you don't give it access to anything else inside of your computer, this folder is the only folder that has access to files. Now we're gonna go into GitHub. Now GitHub, it is basically code that teaches our agent how to use DaVinci Resolve. I'm not gonna get too much into this, but how it works is that you'll essentially go ahead and copy this MPX DaVinci Resolve MCP setup. So it looks like with this DaVinci Resolve MCP, there is a workaround for the free edition, for the free version of DaVinci Resolve. But I am not well versed in that, so if that's something that you want to use, you may have to figure that out on your own with the help of ChatGPT or Codex. So let's turn on /plan, and then you can do /brainstorm. One key thing that I would recommend that you do that is different from what I do is full access. If you're just doing this for the very first time, which I assume most of you are doing, I would click on ask for approval until you fully understand what Codex does on each step. It is not a stretch of truth to say that some people who do not know what they're doing, they have put full access, they have done a full send, and they have deleted a lot of input. Then they go on X and post like, Claude did this to me, when it was really a user error. So be very careful with putting it on full access if you do not know what you are doing yet. So now that we're in here, we are going to take this footage file that I already have that I placed inside my AI Assistant Editor folder. We'll go ahead and copy it and we'll give it over to ChatGPT. And so whenever it does things like this, whenever it does any thinking, any planning, I would always recommend you use the highest setting. Once this planning mode is done, we can swap this off back to 5.6 Luna, and this maximizes your efficiency in terms of token spend. Like, we're putting the best mind to thinking, and we're also now switching over to the best hands to execute. Hey chat, I want you to go ahead and map out all the footage that we have inside this folder, then let's turn it into a first pass where we cut out any spots that are wrong, that say the wrong word, any parts that we mess up, and any dead spaces. So you can see right now it's searching the files. It's mapping out all the footage that's inside of our folder right now. If there's no transcript, what it will do is it will take each video file and start transcribing it by itself. And we have a passable first pass, at least that's what I call it, a first pass. So you see, we can have the full story, a clean string. Yeah, we are going to do the clean string out. So we have 2 timelines, all usable takes or best takes only. So we are going to do best takes only. So it has come up with 3 workable approach. Number 1, rebuild from the audited map and verify against these local file. This is my recommendation. Relink only to this folder, preserve source. So we're gonna go with step 1, or I mean option 1. And once you have the skill, let's see, cleanup rules. And this is the most important part right here that saves editors a lot of time. It's the cleanups section. So start from the audited, select /reject timeline, listen to every range. Remove slates, action cuts, resets, false starts, wrong words, abandoned sentences, duplicate deliveries, and incomplete tails. So this is where the plan, this option that we had checked earlier, kicks in. This whole time we were underneath the brainstorming. This whole process is brainstorming, okay? This isn't like AI will just do everything for you. This is not a click one button and AI does it. That isn't what this is at all. So once I do that, how I would cut and edit a video is I do it by transcription base. What that means is I go into DaVinci Resolve and I have DaVinci Resolve transcribe every single clip. I highlight the text, I do insert, and that is how I basically cut the video and read rather than listen, because listening I found is significantly slower than reading it. So once that is all done, I will go back and I will start polishing every single cut. So in the next pass, I go through, I listen for the best takes, and I remove all the takes that I did not like or has been repeated or has been messed up. Whichever the case is. I have the polish pass that I do later on where I'm very precise with where I cut. Enough, the goal here is to make a cut of when the person starts a motion. Like for example, right here. If we go back, right when I move my hands, like the moment I start moving my hands, that's when I want to make the cut. Because we're making a cut on a movement. So it looks more natural. That is the gist of things. While this video is still doing some work, like honestly, if I were to be cutting up this video, it would probably take me at least 1 to 2 hours. Oh, you guys won't see it on your side, but I'll move it in. DaVinci Resolve is currently being opened on my computer, on my main screen, not my laptop. So once that opens up, I'm actually going to drag it over. Oh, but you can see right here, it says, oh yeah, right there. See, it's opening up. You can see that Codex is now looking at this. I can't move this. If I move this or play with it too much, it might just accidentally crash. So I won't move it. But yeah, you can see that right here, Codex is just operating DaVinci Resolve because of the MCP server from earlier. Is designing the timeline now and the Resolve project build. And there we go. It has just launched DaVinci Resolve on my main. So the persistent issue that we're seeing here is that these models, they're at least X, is leaving too much. So what is happening is, I think ChatGPT is watching through the whole entire video. It's like scanning through. It is. And put my mind. Like it is self-verifying and making sure. Honestly, I have never used 5.6 Luna like this until I saw that X. This is actually still so crazy. It's still going, guys. It's still going. The reason why I think it's so crazy is because we are literally on 5.6 Luna extra high. 5.6 Luna, you have to understand, this is the cheapest model that OpenAI has that's accessible. And more recently as well, they have completely reduced the price of 5.6 Luna in order to compete with a lot of the Chinese models. And only 217K tokens. We haven't ran a single compact yet either, which is huge. Running this while you are reviewing over your B-roll or you're doing your B-roll cuts, like it is literally just verifying for you your A-roll pass. A-roll pass is probably one of the most boring. You can always reshape it later as well. I don't know, it's just, honestly, the truth is the sweet spot is somewhere in the middle. There's a mixture of human involvement and there's a mixture of agent involvement. It isn't one side or the other, but one side or the other is just, so my recommendation is don't try to min-max your model, but min-max your workflow. As long as you perfect your workflow in the systems that you run through your agents, it doesn't matter what model you're using. As you can see, I'm using the lowest tiered model, saving a whole bunch of tokens as well. Okay, well, it literally has just finished after I paused it like 10 seconds ago. Look, sometimes ChatGPT will ask you for access like this. I always just click don't allow. 53 minutes, 47 seconds for that run. And this one was 12 minutes and 18 seconds. So all together, we're looking at about 1 hour and 5 minutes where, see, I think there was just like, since this wasn't one frame, it didn't catch it. And literally, let's review through this timeline now. See, I think there was just like, since this wasn't one frame, it didn't catch it. But I guess you don't. I think it followed my rule. Now the last step you will do is once you are done with all this and you're like very happy with the first pass that it did, literally prompt it. Now I want you to create what's called the first pass skill based off of everything that we just did. I already have a first pass skill, so I'm not going to press enter, but if you don't have one already, go ahead and press enter. And the next time you have any footage that is similar in format, like a talking head, you just say, hey, run first pass skill, and it will literally just do the exact same steps that we just did here. Like, and that's all. Second time it'll run even faster. Like this time we didn't even have it on fast either. If you put this on fast, it would have saved a lot more time as well. We probably could have cut this down to 1.5 times. It's half the time about. Now I know a lot of you are going to ask which one is better. If quality is what you care about the most, and you do work beyond just content, stick with Claude. Fable 5, Claude's top model, is the best coding model I have used and tested, and it handles more across the board. The motion graphics and the text animations, I still build those in Claude. But it's also one of the most expensive. Codex on the $20 ChatGPT plan is really hard to beat. It has an image generator built in, it can drive Resolve as your editor, and it can write scripts if you want. It is not going to match Fable's quality. I'm just putting that out there. Don't commit to one model and believe it is the end-all be-all. The asset is your system. The model is just there to connect everything together. If you want to see this same workflow proven end-to-end through Claude, that video is right here. But yeah, that is the full walkthrough of how I set up DaVinci Resolve with Codex and then edit with it. It's very simple, very straightforward, at least for me. If you guys have any questions on how to do this, like you're still confused or something, or you want something a little bit extra, leave a comment down below this video and I'll answer it as I see it. All right, that's my dog. I'm gonna go.